The story of Blanche Monnier is one of the most disturbing stories ever told. A young woman with a promising future locked up in an upstairs attic for 26 years by her own mother. Hello and welcome. I'm a history connoisseur. Today I'll be discussing the story of Blanche Monnier, the girl locked away for a quarter century. Blanche was a young respectable woman from an aristocratic family. Not too much is known of her earlier life prior to her imprisonment, but she was renowned for her beauty and attracted many potential marriageable men, one of which was a penniless lawyer. Her mother wanted her to marry a rich man, so the family could continue their high life, but she refused to. Back then, marriages were merely social constructs, business agreements, or in this case, wealth. Blanche loved this lawyer, even though he would choose penniless. She would choose love over wealth. This enraged her mother, who punished her severely. Her mother lured Blanche to an upstairs attic, where she locked her in and chained her to an old bed. During her entire duration of stay, she was chained to this bed, never being allowed to leave. Food was thrown at her by a servant. Isolated, malnourished, and forced to stay in the same place, Blanche quickly lost weight. By the time of her discovery, she weighed only 25 kilograms. She was forced to live in complete isolation for 26 years. She was fed only scraps, her room was infested with rats and other rodents, and her mother told the neighbours that she had gone insane. So when she started screaming, they would just all ignore her. In public, her mother and brother, who went along with her, pretended to mourn Blanche. They acted like it was a disappearance, even though she was just feet above them. The lawyer that Blanche wanted to marry actually died in 1885, 10 years after her imprisonment. But despite this, she was still forced to stay in the attic. 26 years later, on the 23rd of May 1901, French police received an anonymous letter, the author of which is still unknown actually. The letter revealed that Blanche was being held in appalling conditions in her mother's house. While initially reluctant to investigate, the Monniers, after all, were a respected family. The police did follow the lead. After finding the padlocked door, they demanded it be opened. Inside, they found the decaying, emaciated Blanche, weighing just 25 kilograms, and not having seen sunlight during her entire imprisonment. One police officer described the scene as, "The unfortunate woman was lying completely naked on a rotten straw mattress. All around her was formed a sort of crust made from excrement, fragments of meat, vegetables, fish and rotten bread. We also saw oyster shells and bugs running across Monnier's bed. The air was so unbreathable, the odour given off by the room was so rank, that it was impossible for us to stay any longer to proceed with our investigation." Her mother was apprehended, where she unexpectedly died 15 days later, after a crowd gathered outside her house. While the judges found his actions disturbing, her brother was acquitted, as a so-called duty to rescue could not be applied here. But what happened to Blanche? Well, I'm afraid the story doesn't get better for her. She was taken to a psychiatric hospital, where she was diagnosed with, well, among other things, anorexia and schizophrenia. She eventually died in 1913 in apparent obscurity. However, she never fully recovered from her imprisonment. And that's the story of Blanche Monnier. Definitely one of the saddest stories in history. Imagine life being stolen by no fault of your own. I'm the history connoisseur, and I'll see you next time.